Welcome back everybody. Today we're testing the new 900 Global Zen. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. A big thank you to Jeff Miller and Ron Hoppy. Don't forget to check out Haley's Pro Shop in Burlington, Washington for world-class drilling and coaching. First impressions, the Zen just might be the new benchmark ball. I can see it perfectly in the mid-control slot. Alright, this is the first 900 Global ball we've tested coming out of Utah, so we're always going to be curious how they'll roll. I can tell you off the bat that the Zen still has a signature 900 Global reaction. This ball was super easy to throw, very matched up immediately. So let's just get into the details. This is a pearl with a huge symmetric core. I generally don't read the marketing blurb before I test balls and write my reviews. I can tell you that the Zen clearly seemed like a perfect mid-control ball. Going back and reading on the website, I feel like they described it differently, but you can watch and be the judge. Nevertheless, we do have a pretty clean ball as you would expect with that 1500 grit polish finish, which I actually didn't hate on this ball, but it does start to rev up before it transitions, which smooths it out and gives it a very readable shape. The transitions from, say, skid to hook to roll aren't sharp, yet I feel like they're very distinguishable as it goes down lane. The ball felt like that type that had a wide window of usability. I can throw it in a normal house breakpoint and it works. I can pitch it to the dry and it responds enough to recover. I can pull it and it sits and hits the pocket. It just gave me lots of room. I also had the ability to move several boards left before it started to hit weak. And I recall the last ball I dropped into the mid-control slot in my bag was the Radical Zing Hybrid. This ball behaved similarly, but actually I would say gave me even more room. What I mean is that I had some left and some right movement without losing hit so quickly, making the Zen essentially the new benchmark. Might seem strange to say that about a pearl, but that goes to show that honestly designations don't really matter. The question must be, how does the ball behave? And there you have it. I threw a few shots two-handed, and obviously I'm still working on picking up the speed, so this ball is much more reactive as you watch a much more rev-dominant release. I'm trying to control the axis rotation to keep this a bit more controllable. The ball's pretty responsive for sure, but not impossibly so. I just have to say the Zen is such a pretty ball going down the lane. Sean is up next, and he saw a similar benchmark type reaction with good room for adjustment. He had between the second and fourth arrow, again no surprises there. He tried many different angles of attack. Second arrow with low axis rotation looked really good. If he pushes to the friction from that direct, the ball will definitely respond, sometimes a bit too much. When he moved closer to the third arrow, he needed to use the friction or it deflected to leave a 10 pin. Not surprising, but a touch more sensitive than it was for me. And that may be Sean's baseline speed being a touch higher than mine. And as he gets into the fourth arrow and pushes it to the friction, the ball really rounds the corner very well. The Zen just seems to have a very good balance for both of us. And here's Bryan tossing the 900 Global Zen. He started just inside the second arrow and the ball looked decent. Good pocket control, but he moved in a couple boards to get it to store a bit more energy. And sometimes when he does that, balls just don't hit. But he didn't have that problem with the Zen. Honestly, the key here, again, was pocket control. Misses in or out really just fed the ball to the pocket. And, again, obviously there's some of the pattern to play there, of course, but it does look different than what we've seen, and we always test on this pattern. Bad shots did leave 10 pins. Only really bad shots left bad leaves. I feel like 900 Global has found a sweet spot with this ball. Bryan commented on how he was pleasantly surprised how a pearl ball controlled the mid lane so well. Again, we tend to have assumptions, but as I have done, I put balls in arsenal categories based on how they behave, plain and simple. Final thoughts. By now, it should be clear that the 900 Global Zen has a really nice spot smack dab in the middle of an arsenal in the mid-control category. I don't care that it's a quote-unquote pearl. It has excellent pocket control, behaves in a balanced way in relation to the amount of friction it sees. Throw it to the friction, it drives back, float it in the oil, the core rolls enough to at least give you a hit. I felt like it matched my game the best, but all three testers saw same really good ball reaction.